That meeting was eternal. I'm not exaggerating. Eternal.
I know. I saw you in there. You were struggling to keep your eyes open for the last 20 minutes.
Was it that obvious?
Only to me. Only to me. Hey everyone. Welcome back to Speak Anglo, the podcast where you improve your English by listening to real conversations. I'm Riley.
And I'm Kendall. We just got out of a very long, very painful meeting, and we are both completely done with today.
Completely done. But that actually makes today perfect. Because when you're tired and honest, you say exactly what you mean. And that's the kind of English we want you to hear.
Real conversations, real situations. Today, we're taking you through our whole afternoon. Leaving work, getting to a cafe, venting, gossiping, all of it.
So settle in. This is a long one. Just listen, follow along, and let it come to you.
Let's get into it.
Okay, fresh air, finally.
I needed that. That room was suffocating. 3 hours of recycled office air and PowerPoint slides.
3 hours. I stopped processing information after the first 40 minutes, honestly. After that, I was just sitting there looking at the slides and nodding at appropriate moments.
That's the skill, isn't it? Looking engaged when you are absolutely not engaged. Nodding, making eye contact, maybe writing something down.
Writing something down that is completely unrelated to the meeting.
Completely unrelated. I wrote a grocery list during the Q3 projections.
A grocery list during the projections.
I needed milk. It couldn't wait.
Priorities. I respect it. I saw you struggling in there, though. Like genuinely struggling to keep your eyes open. Not just zoning out, actually fighting to stay awake.
It was a physical battle. My eyelids were just heavy. Everything was heavy. And the more I tried to focus, the worse it got.
That's always how it works. The harder you try to stay awake, the more your body fights back.
At one point, my head started to drop and I had to do that thing where you pretend you were just looking down at your notes.
The fake notes look. I've done that so many times.
Everyone has done it. You're not alone. It's the oldest trick in the book, and somehow it still works.
Until it doesn't and someone notices.
Until it doesn't, which thankfully did not happen today.
Small mercies. So, are you going straight home after this?
Straight home, yes.
No stops, no errands, nothing. The moment this day is over, I am going straight home and I am ordering food and I am going to pass out.
Pass out, meaning just gone, instantly asleep. Not drifting off slowly, not reading for a bit, not watching something, just sitting down and then suddenly it's 3 hours later.
That's the dream. That is genuinely the dream right now. My bed, food, unconscious. In that order.
Fair enough. And when I say fair enough, I mean I completely understand. I accept it. I'm not going to argue with that at all. Because after today, fair enough.
Today was a killer, honestly. From the moment I got in this morning, everything was heavy, everything took more energy than it should have, and that meeting at the end just finished me off completely.
A killer day. Like it took everything you had and then came back for a little bit more.
Exactly. I'm running on empty right now. Absolute zero.
You know what the worst part of a killer day is?
What?
The one you wake up the next morning and you're still tired. Like the sleep didn't even fix it. You just carry it forward into the next day.
The exhaustion stacks. Every bad day adds to the pile, and eventually the pile is just your life.
That got dark fast.
I told you I was tired. My filter is gone.
No filter Kendall is my favorite version, honestly.
No filter Kendall comes out when the day has been a killer and the meeting was eternal and there is no coffee left in the building.
Wait, there was no coffee?
The machine broke at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. On a day like today. I stood there pressing the button like 7 times just in case it was going to change its mind.
That is devastating. That is genuinely devastating. On a normal day, that's annoying. On a killer day, that's a crisis.
It was a crisis. I had to get through that entire meeting running purely on spite.
Running on spite. I love that. Spite as a fuel source.
Highly underrated. Gets you further than you'd think.
Okay, but I need to talk about Marcus.
Oh no. Yes, Marcus.
Because that moment when the system crashed, I need to walk through that because it was the best and worst thing that happened today at the same time.
It was everything. The whole day compressed into 30 seconds.
So for anyone listening, the system crashed right in the middle of Marcus's presentation. Everything just stopped. The screen went black and Marcus is standing there with his clicker pointed at nothing.
Pointed at a completely blank screen, just standing there, clicker in hand, and you could see the exact moment it hit him. You could watch the panic arrive on his face in real time.
And he turned bright red instantly, like his whole face just flooded with color.
Bright red, that particular shade of red that means either extreme embarrassment or extreme anger, and you're not quite sure which one yet.
With Marcus, it was both. Definitely both.
Embarrassment first, and then about 3 seconds later, the anger caught up.
And I nearly had a laughing fit right then and there. A laughing fit, that moment where laughter just takes over completely, you lose all control, you're desperately trying to hold it in, and the effort of holding it in just makes it funnier.
That's the trap. The more you try to stop it, the worse it gets.
Every single time. And the more professional the situation, the worse the laughing fit.
It's like your body specifically saves it for the most serious moment.
I had to stare at the ceiling. I found a water stain up there and I just locked onto it, focused everything on that water stain.
You saved yourself with a water stain.
That water stain is a hero, completely unrecognized, but a hero.
Meanwhile, I'm on the other side of the room watching you stare at the ceiling, trying to figure out what you're looking at.
Did you start looking too?
I did. I completely lost focus on Marcus and spent a full minute trying to find whatever you were staring at.
So neither of us was paying attention to the actual crisis happening at the front of the room.
We are genuinely terrible colleagues. I want to say that clearly and on the record.
The worst, but you know what? It's what keeps us sane. Those moments, those shared looks across a room, that silent understanding between two people who are both trying not to laugh at the exact same thing, that's what keeps you sane. Without that, the whole thing becomes unbearable.
It keeps your mind intact, keeps you from taking everything so seriously that you can't breathe. You need someone to share the ridiculous moments with.
And today had a lot of ridiculous moments.
Today was practically a highlights reel.
Can I vent for a second?
Please.
The deadline situation, I have been holding this in since this morning, and I need to say it out loud before I carry it home with me.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
They moved the deadline again without telling our side. We found out through someone else, not even directly, just through the grapevine. And now everyone is scrambling and acting like it was always this date, and I'm supposed to just absorb that and keep moving.
That sucks.
It really sucks. And I know that sounds simple, but sometimes simple is the most accurate thing. This sucks. No more sophisticated way to put it.
Sometimes this sucks is the most honest sentence available. You don't need to dress it up. It covers it completely.
And I'm not looking for solutions. I know there are no solutions right now. I just needed to say it out loud. That's what venting is. You release it. You let the pressure out. You say the thing you've been carrying all day so it stops sitting so heavily inside you.
And now that you've said it,
Smaller. It feels smaller. Not gone, but smaller.
that's how it works. You carry something around inside and it fills up all the space, but once you say it out loud to another person, it loses some of its weight.
Exactly. The steam comes out. You can breathe again.
I'm glad you vented. I mean it.
Thank you for listening. That's genuinely all I needed.
That's what this is for. Okay, this is better. This is significantly better.
Night and day. Look at this. Comfortable chairs, good lighting, no PowerPoint slides anywhere in sight.
No agenda, no projector, no Marcus.
No Marcus. God bless this cafe.
What are you getting?
Something warm. I don't even care what. Just something warm that I can wrap my hands around and sit with for a while.
Coffee is like a hug in a cup on days like this.
That's exactly what it is. You walk in from the cold and the chaos and you hold something warm and your whole body just sighs. Like, okay, we made it through the day.
Barely, but we made it.
Barely counts.
Can I be honest about something?
Always.
I actually like this part of a hard day. Not the hard day itself. The hard day can go away and never come back. But this part, sitting somewhere quiet with someone you actually like, talking through everything, letting it all out.
The debrief.
The debrief. There's something almost satisfying about it. Like the difficulty of the day makes this moment better. You appreciate the warmth more because you were cold. You appreciate the quiet more because it was loud.
You appreciate the coffee more because the machine was broken.
Especially that.
I think that's genuinely true, though. The contrast matters. You can't fully appreciate a good moment without some bad ones to compare it to.
That sounds like it should be on a poster somewhere.
I'll get right on that.
Okay, we promised ourselves gossip, and I want to deliver on that promise.
Full gossip, no filter, everything.
Everything. Start wherever you want. What's been on your mind?
Okay, so you know the reorganization they've been hinting at for the last month?
I've heard things.
Well, it's not hints anymore. I heard from 2 different people today that it's actually happening and it's bigger than anyone thought.
How much bigger?
Like whole departments bigger. Like nothing is going to look the same on the other side of it.
Okay, that's not gossip. That's news.
It's gossip until it's official, right? Right now, it's gossip.
Fair point. What else?
You first, because I can see from your face that you know something.
Okay, so, you know how the Henderson account is supposedly fine for months?
Supposedly fine.
Supposedly. Well, apparently it is very much not fine and has not been fine for quite some time, and the person responsible has been hoping it would quietly resolve itself.
It never quietly resolves itself.
Never. And now it is very loudly not resolving itself, and several people are walking around looking like they've seen a ghost.
That explains the energy in the building this week. I kept thinking something felt off and I couldn't place it.
Something was very off. And that meeting today, I wonder if that's part of why it ran so long. Everyone talking around the problem without actually talking about the problem.
That's a specific kind of torture. Everyone in the room knows something is wrong, nobody says it directly, and the meeting just keeps going in circles while people wait for someone else to speak first.
An hour and a half of that.
No wonder you were falling asleep. Your brain was protecting itself.
Exactly. My brain said, this is not useful. Shutting down.
Smart brain, honestly.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you ever get to the end of a week like this one and just feel completely empty? Not just tired, like something has been taken from you and you're not sure how to get it back?
Yeah, I do.
What do you do when that happens?
Honestly, I try not to push through it. There's this pressure, especially at work, to just keep going, to seem okay even when you're not, to not let anyone see that the week got to you. And I used to do that. I used to just force my way through until the weekend and then fall apart.
And now?
Now I try to name it. Like, I'm empty right now. That's what this is. And I try to be honest with the people around me instead of pretending everything's fine.
Like venting.
Like venting, but more than that too. Just not pretending to be okay when you're not. Letting the people you trust see the real version.
That takes courage that nobody really talks about.
It does. And it gets easier the more you do it. The first time you tell someone, I'm really struggling right now, and they don't disappear, that changes something.
They don't disappear.
They usually don't. Most people are relieved when someone is honest first, because it gives them permission to be honest too.
I think that's what good conversations do. You say the real thing, and then the other person can say the real thing.
And suddenly, the weight is shared. It's not just on you anymore.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
This was a good idea, coming here.
It was a great idea. My idea, by the way.
Was it?
100% my idea.
I'm almost certain I suggested it.
You're misremembering. Exhaustion does that.
Convenient.
I'm just saying, when the history of this cafe visit is written, I want my contribution acknowledged.
Formally noted.
You know what I was thinking about in that meeting today? Completely unrelated to anything actually happening in the meeting.
As one does.
As one does. I was thinking about how much time we spend in rooms we don't want to be in, talking about things that feel urgent in the moment and completely meaningless 3 weeks later.
That's a heavy thought for a Tuesday.
No filter, remember? But it made me think about how important it is to protect the moments that actually matter, the conversations you actually want to have, the people you actually want to spend time with.
Like this.
Like this. This is not going to feel meaningless in 3 weeks. This conversation, this cafe, this terrible day that somehow turned into a good evening, I'll remember this.
Me too. So I guess that's my takeaway from today. The day was a killer. The meeting was eternal. Marcus turned bright red. The coffee machine broke. This sucks was said more times than I can count. And at the end of all of it, we came here, we vented, we gossiped, we had a laughing fit or two. Several laughing fits.
Several. And it was good. Despite everything, it was genuinely good.
That's what keeps you sane, isn't it? Not avoiding the hard days, just making sure you end them right.
Ending them right. I like that.
Okay, to everyone listening, you just spent the last little while with us going through a whole day. A real one, and you heard English being used the way it's actually used, in real moments between real people.
Let's go through what came up today, just the ones worth holding on to.
Pass out, when exhaustion hits you completely and suddenly. Not drifting off slowly, just suddenly gone. I went straight home and passed out.
Straight home. Directly home. No stops, no detours. I'm going straight home after this.
A killer. Something that takes everything from you. Your energy, your focus, your patience. That day was a killer. That exam was a killer.
Fair enough. Not full agreement, acceptance. I understand your reason and I'm not going to argue with it. Tone matters here. Said warmly, it means I genuinely get it. Said flatly, it can mean I'm not happy about it, but okay.
Turned bright red. The physical sign of embarrassment or anger on someone's face. We describe emotions through color a lot in English. Bright red, white as a sheet, green with envy.
A laughing fit, when laughter takes over completely and the harder you try to stop it, the worse it gets. A fit is a sudden, uncontrollable episode of something. Coughing fit, crying fit, laughing fit.
Right then and there, at that exact moment in that exact place, usually the worst possible timing. No escape, no delay.
Keeping you sane, the thing that makes a hard situation tolerable. This is what keeps me sane. Not about mental health literally, just means this is what stops everything from becoming too much.
To vent, to release frustration by talking about it. And the important thing, when someone says, I need to vent, they are not asking for solutions. They want to be heard. The right response is, go ahead, or I'm listening, not, here's what you should do.
This sucks. Honest, simple, final. Between people you're comfortable with, it's completely natural. Just read the room before you use it.
The debrief. When you sit down after something difficult and go through it all together, talk it out, make sense of it. That's a debrief.
And force your way through. When you push yourself to keep going even when everything in you wants to stop. You don't give up, you don't slow down, you just force your way through.
12 expressions. All heard naturally in context first. The explanation just confirms what you already picked up from listening.
Now we want you to use one of these today or this week.
Here's a situation. Someone asks you how your week was. Give them a real, honest answer, using at least 3 expressions from today. What do you say?
Pause if you want. Think about your actual week. How would you honestly describe it?
One example.
Honestly, this week was a killer. I've been forcing my way through every single day. I had to vent to a friend just to keep myself sane, and right now, all I want is to go straight home and pass out.
That's a real answer. That's something you could send to a friend right now and it would sound completely natural.
Write your version in the comments. Describe your week, your day, your month. Use anything you heard today. We read every single one.
And tell us, what was the last thing that made you turn bright red? Embarrassing moment, awkward situation, something at work or school or anywhere, because those are always the best stories. That's Speak Anglo Episode 1.
If this felt different to other English content you've tried, if it felt more like listening to real people than sitting in a classroom, share it with one person who's learning English. That is genuinely the most helpful thing you can do for us.
Subscribe for the next one. We're going to talk about how to disagree with someone without it turning into a fight. The phrases people actually use, the ones that calm things down instead of making them worse, and why English has so many ways to say you're wrong without ever actually saying you're wrong.
That one is going to be a good one.
Really good. Until next time, go straight home,
Pass out.
and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.